Imagine you're in a grand room, crystal chandeliers sparkling, cameras flashing, and every second feels like history is being written. But amidst all the glitz and glamour, it's not laughter, not speeches, not even awards that steal the show. It's silence. Yes, just a few seconds without words, but enough to make millions stop breathing. This is the moment that shook Weibo Night 2025, a moment between Bai Jingting and Zhang Ruonan that is now endlessly replayed, analyzed, and debated. The evening itself was anything but ordinary. The red carpet was filled with elegant gowns, expensive suits, and perfectly practiced smiles. Cameras captured the celebrities' every move, every angle of their faces, every tiny, headline-making interaction. Everything seemed planned, until that moment happened. When Bai Jingting and Zhang Ruonan were in the same frame, no one was truly prepared for what was about to happen next. There was no dialogue, no exaggerated gestures. Just a look, just a pause. But that's precisely where its power lay. The camera didn't look away immediately, and that's what made it all feel even more intense. It was as if time slowed down, allowing viewers to perceive something deeper than a casual interaction. That glance, brief, yet fraught with meaning, became the center of attention in a matter of seconds. Many said the moment felt unintentional. Unlike the scripts typically designed for events as large as Weibo Night 2025, this felt raw, natural, and precisely because of that, it was so real. Their body language spoke louder than words. The slight change in expression, the way they stood, the close yet cautious distance, all of it created a narrative that wasn't spoken, but felt. In an entertainment world filled with scripts and controlled imagery, this kind of silence is rare. Viewers don't just see, they feel. And when something feels genuine, the reaction is that much stronger. It didn't take long for the clip to go viral on Weibo. Within minutes, it had been replayed thousands of times. Within hours, millions. And within a day, it had become a phenomenon. Fans began analyzing every detail. Was that a look of longing? Asked one user. Or did the camera just happen to catch the wrong moment? Wrote another. Theories abound, each attempting to explain what really happened. Some believe there's a history behind the silence. That perhaps, behind the scenes, there's a connection or story that hasn't been revealed. Others consider this simply an overinterpretation by a drama-hungry public. But that's precisely the magic. This moment offers no answers. It only raises questions. And humans, by nature, always want to fill in the gaps with meaning. The footage is replayed not just out of curiosity, but because of the feeling it leaves behind. There's something hanging, something unfinished. And that keeps people coming back, trying to capture details they might have missed. Some even slow down the video, zoom in on facial expressions, try to read eye movements. Every frame becomes a subject of analysis. Every second becomes a puzzle. Interestingly, there's been no official clarification from Bai Jingting or Zhang Ruonan. And perhaps that's precisely why this moment lives on. No explanation means no limits to interpretation. In a world filled with noise, this kind of silence feels even more powerful. It allows for emotions to flourish, for imaginations to work. And in this case, the result was an unplanned viral phenomenon. Weibo Night 2025 is indeed known for its glamorous and dramatic moments. But ironically, what's most memorable isn't something major, it's something almost unseen. This proves that in entertainment, sometimes the most powerful thing isn't what's shown, but what's implied. It's not what's said, but what's left unsaid. And for fans, this moment has become more than just a clip. It's become a story, an open-ended narrative that can be interpreted in many ways, depending on who sees it. Some see it as the beginning of something. Others see it as an ending that's never explained. And still others simply enjoy it as a rare, human moment in a world so contrived. Whatever its meaning, one thing is certain. That silence spoke louder than 1,000 words. And in a world full of scrutiny, perhaps silence is the most honest. So now the question is no longer what happened, but what did you feel when you saw it? Because perhaps the real answer was never on the screen. It lay within each viewer. And when we look deeper, something begins to become clear. That moment wasn't just about two people on stage, but about how the audience responded to something that defies simple logic. The reactions were so spontaneous, so emotional. It was as if everyone was watching the same story, but understanding it differently. This phenomenon demonstrates how the power of visuals can transcend words. Without dialogue, without formal narration, that brief interaction opened up a much wider space for interpretation. Each person brought their own experiences and emotions to the scene, and these shaped how they understood what happened between Bai Jingting and Zhang Ruonan. On the other hand, some are beginning to question, is this truly a genuine moment, or is it just unconsciously part of a public drama that reinforces their image? The world of entertainment often blurs the line between reality and perception, and that line becomes even more difficult to distinguish when the camera is always on. But it's precisely this uncertainty that keeps this moment alive. If everything were explained, perhaps its appeal would be lost. Mystery is the primary fuel for curiosity, and in this case, the mystery hasn't died down. Some observers even call this a perfect example of silent storytelling, a way of telling stories without words that is even more captivating. For a few seconds, viewers feel as if they are witnessing a scene from a film, complete with complex, unspoken emotions. On platforms like Weibo, discussions are rife. Not only fans, but also entertainment critics are offering their views. Some analyze it from a psychological perspective, others from an industry perspective, and still others simply enjoy the speculation. Interestingly, this moment also demonstrates how modern audiences are no longer merely passive spectators. They are actively constructing narratives, creating theories, and even extending the life of events far beyond their original duration. And perhaps that's where the true power of this moment lies, not in what happened on stage, but in what happened afterward. The conversations, theories, and emotions swirled, making those few seconds feel like something much bigger. Ultimately, Weibo Night 2025 won't be remembered solely for its glitz or its list of winners, but for one unexpected moment of silence. A reminder that in a world full of noise, sometimes it's the silence that's hardest to forget. And over time, that moment didn't fade like other viral sensations. Instead, it blossomed, transforming into a kind of symbol that in a world full of fast-paced, distracting events, there's still room for something simple yet profound. A glance, a brief pause, can create echoes far longer than anyone imagined. There's also another dimension that many are beginning to realize. The silence allows the audience to feel rather than simply see. Without a clear emotional compass, each individual is free to interpret. And it's precisely that freedom that makes the viewing experience so personal. Some fans even admitted to feeling something inexplicable, a mix of hope, nostalgia, and a hint of anxiety. It was as if the moment touched on something deeper than just a celebrity interaction on stage. From an industry perspective, this incident serves as an important reminder that not all iconic moments are staged. Sometimes, the most memorable ones come from accident, from something unplanned, unchoreographed, and unpolished. And perhaps that's why this moment feels so live. It's imperfect, unclear, even a little confusing, but precisely because of that, it feels real. In an entertainment world that often feels artificial, even the slightest hint of authenticity can be incredibly valuable. Ultimately, do we really know what happened between them? Maybe not. And maybe we don't need to know. Because sometimes, the beauty of a moment lies in its mystery, in the empty space we fill with meaning.